groups. My headphones on. The headphones are on, but I can't hear. I can't hear. I don't know why.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I thought it was just me. I left out and came back in, so.
Oh man, thank you for telling me that.
You was talking all the time. It was muted.
Thank you for telling me that. Well, hey, I appreciate it, man.
I thought my phone was tripping.
And it's crazy because I literally, right before I get on here, I literally turned off everything and turned it back on. So I don't know why my mic was muted, but thank you for telling me that. But I'll go ahead and just restart it, and then I'll just cut off the part, everything else. But thanks guys for checking out another one of my weekly analysis. I do appreciate it. And just like I was saying right now, because I'm going to cut off that part. I just like to go over the fundamental analysis as per usual to just check out when the said news is going to occur, and if I think that there's a certain news event that I think is important, then I'll speak on it. But overall, I am not a fundamental analysis trader. I just like looking at the high impact news, because the high impact news is where there might be a lot of volatility in the market. But other than that, the numbers that come back, or any of these things that come back, they don't really mean anything to me. I mean, it means something to me because, like I said, there's some news events that are very important in my opinion, but at the same time, it's like, not really, because they're not going to really move the market how other news events are going to move the market, in my opinion. But anyways, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday, we have U.S. dollar news, and Federal Chairman Powell will be speaking. Wednesday, so no news on Tuesday, high impact news at least. Wednesday, 2 a.m., there is GBP news with the CPIs, right? 7 a.m., GBP and USD have their Governor Bailey speaking and Chairman Powell speaking. Tentative means that, before I even talk about the news that's happening, but tentative means that, it can happen. It can be released basically at any time during the day. It's not going to be like a clear, like cookie cutter time of when that will be released, right? And so, what the annual budget release is this document outlines the government's budget for the year, including expected spending and income levels, borrowing levels, financial objectives, and planned investments, right? And why do traders care about this? The domestic government spending and borrowing levels can have a significant impact on the economy. Increased spending generates work for contractors and creates jobs, while borrowing levels impact the nation's credit rating and provides insight into the nation's underlying fiscal position. So basically, this is just basically telling you, like, if the good annual release news, which I don't know why they say annually when last year they showed it twice, they're just going to be showing how the government has been, like, what the government has planned for spending and stuff like that. And if it's good, then more than likely, or not more than likely, you would think that if it's good, then the GDPs will gain strength, right? We'll see what happens, but that's just something that we'll be paying attention to on Wednesday. 3:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, CHF, where we have the SMB monetary policy statement, the Euro, German flash manufacturing PMI, and flash services. And then 4:30 a.m. on Thursday, we have S&B press conference. So you might want to watch out for the CHF news if you trade the CHFs. Like, I haven't traded UCHF in a while, quite honestly, and I will be talking about exactly why. But let's go on to the charts. We talked about the fundamentals, which, I just go through them real quick because fundamentals, I guess. But, as we can see here, the US dollar futures, basically the same thing as the DXY, made a push to the downside, like I had mentioned. I thought it was going to do last week, right? I was saying, hey, what I want to see right here at this weekly zone, let me actually go on to the weekly time frame. When I come over to the weekly time, actually, let me get rid of this because I don't need to be drawing a whole bunch of those when I have a whole bunch right here from last week. Yeah, so this is the weekly fib that I had drawn out from this bearish move that we saw on the US dollar. I mean, it moved to the downside pretty hard one way for a long time. There's no way I wasn't going to fib this. Going on to the daily time, no, not going on to the daily. Let me actually go on to the weeklies. I want to see what that candle looks like before I continue. So, high drawings real quick. I mean, it's a better bearish candle. I mean, body-wise, it's engulfing this candle, so this could be potentially a morning star pattern. I just don't like this wick to the downside, as this had a wick to the downside as well. That's not something that I really necessarily want to see when I'm trying to be bearish on the US dollar. Although, yes, FOMC news last week, FOMC came out right here, and then this is where the DXY opened down over here, but this is how far the US dollar pushed to the downside after that FOMC news, which is pretty interesting. So, one thing that I am currently waiting for, I want to see what price is going to do at this zone. Let me get all that stuff back on here. So, like I said, this fib played out pretty nicely to the downside. I would still want to see the US dollar continue going bearish, but as of right now, I'm not getting into any positions. So, at this point, I want to see what this zone right here is going to be looking like before I look to, wait for any type of next possible play. I'd want to see a breakout of this zone, a retracement, and then a continuation before I try to play any additional moves. This is probably what I would. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Yes, but I do want to see a breakout to the downside of this zone before I look to play any USD pairs. Quite honestly, because I did play the buy on Euro USD last week, so I wanted to just see, like I said, a continuation to the downside at this point. If I don't get that, then I'm not necessarily going to play anything, but there is this zone that I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to get rid of this supply zone because it did what I needed it to do, but I would be paying attention to that if price came back up here again to say, hey, you know, what happens if price does end up coming back up here. But anyways, going on to the daily time frame, or not even to the daily, but onto the weekly, you know, still have to pay close attention to how from the high of 104 to the low of 145, price still has not came over here to 99.715, so that's still an area where I'm paying attention to see if price can potentially go bullish over there, you know. And it's kind of interesting how that looks like that, but when I go onto the DXY, it's hit that level that I wanted it to go off of. So that's something that maybe because of the gaps that, you know, on the futures, they're not giving me any gaps. There's no gaps at all on here. Whereas on the DXY, we were seeing a whole bunch of gaps. You know, so I mean, wait, is there gaps? Let me not say that there's no gaps. There's volume, and the gaps are much more distinguished. Well, I don't think the gaps are much more distinguished. I think it's probably the same thing, but still, you know. So overall, I still think that, hey, maybe there is still a possibility for price to go a little bit higher to the upside, but we don't necessarily need to worry about that as of right now, because, you know, we're waiting right now. You know, if you didn't sell from when price was right here, then it's cool, right? It's kind of even a top, sort of, but not really, because we were looking at it on the lower time frames as well. But we want this structure to break before making any kind of decisions, right? So even on the 1 hour time frame, yes, I do see this possibility of from where like the price really decided to drop, because this was the news candle, or this was a news candle. The price decided to drop, and then the retracement, yeah, like I do see that possibility for sure on the DXY for it to go back up to 98 point. I mean, no, actually it already hit the 61.8, so I'm not even so sure that I want, like I said, I just want to wait for the breakout first before I try to play around with the US dollar, because for all I know that it can do is, you know, start playing a range. It could genuinely start playing a range right here, because the interest rates did increase, so that, I mean, oh, did you want to say something? Sorry. Oh, I guess not. Okay.
I just tripped over you moving.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I tripped over.
All right. You know what? Hold on. Actually, no, it's all good. So, but yeah, price can literally just play around in this range from these highs and these lows. Like there's equal highs and equal lows here, and so let me actually go ahead and get out the VPN, and it's like there's a whole lot of volume down. There's a whole lot of volume down here, and like absolutely none up here. There's no volume except for like if you like, unless you like super like come out, but there's no interest. There's like not that much interest in buyers here, except for, I mean, like again, there's still the possibility of all this, but overall, when you go zoom in closer, especially on the 4 hour time frame, yeah, price is not interested that much in coming any higher than taking out these equal highs and then dropping. So that's something that definitely, and again, this is the reason why I like using the futures more than the DXY, because you get to see the volume. You actually get to see volume. So, but yeah, definitely, I'm still bearish on Euro USD. And hey, I feel like at this point, if price does come up to the upside, it might end up coming up to like 99.735 and then dropping hard or something like that. And if it does that retracement, it's definitely going to be game time for me. But yeah, this is the play that I'm like. These are the one of these two plays is what I'm expecting on the USD basically. So push to the downside, up, continuation. That's what I would love to see for me to get into a trade, or something like this could possibly happen as well, where price comes up, fakes out to the upside. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Fake out to the upside, retrace back down, then make a retracement up before coming to the downside as well. One of those. This is the one I want to happen, so that's why I'm keeping it up. But the upside move is still a possibility since price did not break through this zone right here. And you know what's even funnier? This gap, price closed it. With that wick right there on the lower time frame, price did close it, but there is still this gap from how many weeks ago at 97.380 that has not been closed, and there's still this gap down over here as well at 96.535 that still has not yet to be closed. But we'll see what goes down. But like I said, being patient, that's the smartest move to make right now, rather than trying to jump the gun. I'm not even going to try to place a buy stop. And if you go onto the daily, it looks kind of like, oh, well, there was equal lows here, and it looks like it kind of got swept. So we'll see what goes on with the DXY. Let me go on over to arbitrage. And I have my drawings out again. It's all good. All right, let me go ahead and take that off real quick. So cool. So daily time frame. Right here, again, it's kind of the same thing on the daily. It's like if this breaks out to the downside, then more than likely there's going to be a sell play called. But as of right now, there's not any buys on the daily, nor on the weekly. There's no point in me. I'll take a look at the weekly, but there's really no point in me looking right now. It's just very bullish, and we already know that it's been bullish on the weekly time frame. It's going to take a couple of months for that to change to bearish. For at least a couple of months of bearish US dollar for the weekly time frame to change from a buying perspective to a seller's perspective. 4-hour time frame called for the sell, retraced up to the RSI line, came back down. That's cool and everything, but right now this lower danger zone, price has been riding on it and holding. So it's like, I use the lower danger zone and the upper danger zone as both support and resistance. So there is a possibility that price can, just go bullish from here as well. So that's another reason why I'm like, hey, this structure right here is what I ultimately want to get broken before I see before I get into another play on the US dollar, right? So we'll be watching out for that nonetheless, but still I want the bears to come out. 1-hour time frame, I'm pretty sure, got to break, retest. As much as price has already moved up pretty significantly, and this candle is only kind of telling me that price is probably going to end up going bearish some more still. I don't want to play this, only because arbitrage is actually, this is my play nonetheless. Breakout, retest, continuation for the arbitrage bands. That's my setup right there. Level pro over here is above the ground zero, and then we also have arbitrage Z over here. It's not quite yet above ground zero, that green line, but we'll still be waiting to see what goes down with that, right? So overall, I want to see a breakout to the downside on the dollar before I look for any sell opportunities, and I'm not going to be looking for buy opportunities right now. That's just how I see it. All right, going on over to Euro USD. As I had mentioned in I was talking about how last week on the analysis, I was saying that, hey, right here is an area where I was looking for the bulls to come in. And, funny enough, for y'all who are seeing the overlay, when I say the bulls here to stay for EU, that was what I meant to put last week. I just forgot to change the overlay. But yeah, I still do believe that, Euro USD can still go bullish overall. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of this. Wait a minute, what did I just do? There we go. Okay. So, price came up to these equal highs, still has not broken through them. That's cool. Let me get rid of that, holding that zone there. Gonna hide these. Okay, so overall, want this zone right here to get broken through. Want this zone to get broken through. Not interested in seeing that it didn't necessarily break above to break any type of equal highs over here. So it just feels like a zone to me. So I have to see what price is gonna do. This is gonna I want to go back in time, because I think there was a point in time where price did something similar to what we're seeing, and then price continued going bearish. Really, I have a feeling that I saw it the other day. Right here. Right over here, right? Where we had a good bullish move. I said I wanted the retracement. Price came down, pushed up, came back down. Just kept consolidating until it finally broke out to the upside. That's what I'm kind of seeing might happen over here if price does continue to push to the downside. But overall, it's kind of the same thing as with the DXY. Or not the same thing, the opposite, because Euro USD is the inverse of, not the DXY, the dollar, the US dollar, right? I want to see it break out to the upside, make a retracement, then continue to the upside for that play, and that will then take price to up to the 61.8 extension or the 38.2 extension once price breaks out to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at for Euro USD. Like I said, it's basically the opposite of what I'm looking at for the DXY. Weekly wise, it's still in this weekly Fibonacci zone for a sell. For a buy. So there is a possibility of price to go bullish. The week before's candle looks terrible, quite honestly. And then we're seeing this candle right after it. This looks like a pretty, despite the wick, this looks like a pretty decent possibility for a morning star pattern right here. So I'm gonna be bullish on this until this zone gets broken and price continues to fall. Overall though, the swing levels is still here. And if you decide to buy super all the way up to 1.19430, then your patience might be better than mine. Quite honestly. Alright, so that's how I feel about EU. I am well aware that the possibility of, price coming from, after this breakout to the upside, talk about a morning star. This is definitely a huge morning star. But, the possibility of price coming down, it already hit the 61.8 Fibonacci level. But the possibility of it still coming down to 1.09874 or 1.09713, I'll be watching for it, but I'm not really that crazy about it, quite honestly. I'll see how the price action looks like if price does get there, but I would just rather at this point price just continue taking off. And it doesn't help that the point of control, when you come closer down, is right there. It definitely, I mean, that's what I like using the point of control for, is to help me find out where the most volume is sitting at. And so, you know, yeah, it's, I mean, price can definitely, I mean, I have that alert there. I mean, if you want a better alert, set it at 1.100 so that you're pre-approved. Nice place to enter. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what goes down with Euro USD. That move to the upside, it does right there. If it comes back down, it looks good for that bullish move for the breakout. It's just, again, the only thing that I'm not so crazy about it is right over here. Well, not again, because it's the first time I'm saying it, but right here is, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, if you will. But that's only if you're looking at it from one zone to another. But I'm really looking at it from like a 15-minute to a 1 hour point of view, where I'm saying, oops, I did not want that tool. Okay, that's weird how that came out. I don't know where. Oh, I am. Sorry. Well, yeah, I'm looking at it like from a 15-minute to a 1 hour time frame point of view. And I'm saying, hey, like, there's still volume sitting here in the 15-minute time frame where price could definitely still come back down and then push to the upside right after. So gonna be holding, you know what, in fact, I am gonna bring this back over here to the 61.8 so that I can start preparing myself and saying, hey, do I want to get into this trade or not? So that's for Euro USD. I have my alert set, and once it goes off, I'll be telling you guys in the chats. Let's go on over to arbitrage and see what that's looking like. And I'm gonna actually copy this alert, and I'm gonna place it on this arbitrage chart. So yeah, this is a swing play for Euro USD that I was talking about for arbitrage. But anyways, let me go ahead and, I want to save this low key. You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm just gonna go to a different chart and use a different chart instead. Remove drawing, so I want to keep that. So daily time frame still far from bullish on Euro USD. 4 hour time frame, however, it's much better looking. Right now it's currently at the upper danger zone. You know, I mean, it's broken above it. It's kind of look like it might be either A, retesting it for it to continue going bullish, or B, it can be holding, and it is a blue candle, so it could be going bearish pretty shortly. But again, at this point, I would really just rather see a breakout to the upside. You know, price has already called the buy. So Level Pro and Arbitrage Z are both bullish as well. So on the 1 hour time frame, so there you have it. 1 hour time frame on EU has called for a sell, however. Retraced, hit that, and you know, it could continue pushing to the downside, but I'm just gonna be patient, you know, just gonna wait and see what happens. I have my alert set, and if my alert does not go off, then that more than likely means that price has gone, you know, and broken out to the upside by the end of the week. So there is that on Euro USD. Just going over to AUD USD. All right, let's see what this is talking about. Ha! What would you look at that? So AUD USD didn't necessarily play out to the T of how I wanted, and it's funny because thank goodness I don't even like playing AUD USD anymore. That would have been terrible for me. But let's go on over to the daily time frame and talk about it. This is like one of my least traded pairs in the world, I swear. That's on my watch list at least. Even gold has more play than this. So AUD USD, it's still at this supply zone that I had drawn out. I believe it was a week ago. If we go on to the weekly time frame, that is a very bullish candle on AUD USD. I feel like that's just price is just gonna keep going to the upside. When it comes to AUD USD, I would not try to sell it here, although it is at a supply zone, but it doesn't look great on the weekly time frame or on the daily time frame, as we're seeing a morning star candle, candle formation right here, and then at the same time you're seeing 1, 2, 3 white soldiers candlestick formation as well in the daily time frame at this supply zone. I wouldn't necessarily try to play it. And you know, some might say, well, what about this from this low? I mean, from this high to this low. If you draw a fib out there, you'll see that price is slightly above that 78.6. I'm just assuming it is, but based off of how it looks like, that's exactly what I see. Yep, exactly. So, you know, it's not necessarily... Wait, what? Oh, that's dope. I did not know you could write notes. But, I'm trying to get rid of this. I don't want that there. Oh, that's... Oh. You learn something new every day on TradingView. I swear, they be updating it and I love it. But anyways, AUDUSD, definitely not a fan of how it's playing out for any potential sales opportunities. And that's okay, because again, I don't really trade AUDUSD that often. You know, at this point, I'm actually kind of feeling this play more than the sales. I'm actually feeling like, okay, if price is going to reject and push to the downside, come back down to like 0.72468, then continue going for the buys, then, you know, that's not necessarily a bad play in my opinion, because it just looks so bullish to me, you know. But again, I'm probably not going to play that, but I'm just saying, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. You know, there's much better opportunities that I could probably find rather than AUDUSD. Like I said, it's become one of my least favorite pairs to trade. So, all right, that is for that. Let's go on to the daily time frame. Actually, let's go on to the weekly, because this is what I was mentioning with, last week I was saying, hey, AUDUSD on the weekly time frame, it is at a place where it looks good for a buy. I was like, because it closed down over here and it said it broke, retested. I mean, on the lower time, it took way shorter than I would have wanted it to, and it's probably going to call a buy this week for the buy signal, but it's not fully confirmed yet. However, again, this just looks pretty good for a buy at this point. If you would have gotten in for arbitrage users, if you would have gotten in on that weekly at 0.72658, that's a sniper. Daily time frame, oh my goodness, yeah, breakout to the upside. Did breakout, retest, and did that, but then it came back to the RSI line and then pushed up to the upside like that too. Man, AUDUSD did its thing last week. I did not pay attention to it at all. 1 hour time frame might be starting to set up for a potential sell opportunity, but AUDUSD, again, it's not a pair that I like to trade that often, but the possibility is there for a short-term intraday / day trade. Quite honestly, we'll see what that looks like. I'll set an alert for it. Why not? Shorts once per bar close creates. All right, yeah. Let's see what that looks like. I'm down to try it out. Okay. Let's go on over to UChef. All right. So this is gonna make you guys laugh, or not make you guys laugh, but it made me laugh at least. UChef is the biggest tease in the world. So first of all, I don't know how many of you guys remember I called a sell weeks ago with UChef like this. Wait, was it that? No, it was this play right here. From this low to this high, price made the retracement, and then it hit a take profit 1 or something like that. Price had break even, then price came and took it out. But then I was saying that, hey, you know, from these lows right here to these highs, what about these buys right here? Price pushed to the upside. Wait, was it that? Or I think it was this, actually. Yeah, it was definitely this play. So price pushed to the upside, came to entry, pushed to the upside. Okay, took some profits, came back for a break evens, and I was saying, hey, it could hold here to go bullish, or it can hold up here to go bearish. Price consolidated over there for a little bit. broke out of this zone since it's been in this zone since August of 2021 to March of 2022. It's been in this zone, broke out to the upside, but then on the weekly time frame, it looks like it just left a huge wick to the upside. So it's like, does UChef want to go bearish after showing that it is given a huge bullish candlestick like that, and then right after, it looks like a shooting star that at this point I feel like price is just gonna follow that shooting star question mark? That I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. Because to me at this point, it's kind of like, well, do I want to just sell at these highs and then that price keep pushing to the downside? Or what should I do, you know? That's how I feel about it. But anyways, let me go ahead and analyze this a little bit more. Yeah, there's a bunch of volume down here. I figured that much. And that only makes sense because, again, that shooting star to me, it looks like a fake out. And if the weekly... let's just say that this weekly candlestick, if it gives a bearish candle like this. Let's just say it gives a bearish candlestick like that. That's a bearish engulfing candle compared to what this is. So hard, and with a long wick like that, it's kind of like, ugh. But then even on the weekly time frame, we see where price has gone up to and grabbed the volume and literally dropped to the downside. I definitely believe UChef is going long-term bearish after seeing this. Like, it'd be very difficult for me to believe that if it goes bullish and breaks above these highs, I'd be surprised, personally. Like, I would definitely be surprised at that. So, with that being said, is there an entry possibility for me to get in? From what I'm seeing on the 4 hour, no. From what I'm seeing on the 1 hour, still a little no-ish. You know, unless price has to do something like this at this point. I don't think I'm gonna be looking for buys up here. I feel like there was there was a head and shoulders right here that somebody probably played out and ate off of. It's kind of iffy because it's like one wick that got up there. So head, and then the right shoulder is right here where price left that wick. And then push to the downside. I will tell you right now, if I were to try to trade this, I would not have gotten an entry. But still, that's a big volume off of that candle too. Yeah, someone ate off of that. But what I would want to see at this point for UChef, I mean, I wouldn't want to see this right here. Kind of, I wouldn't want to see price just come back in between 0.93711 and 0.93868. You know, I'd rather just at this point look at it from this time frame, like 15-minute time frame. Have price come up to 0.93561 and then continue falling at that point. Because I mean, even if it gets up to 0.93500, like inside this zone, I feel like is a safe place at this point, and then putting your stop loss above like 0.94250 for a swing is more than adequate. But for intraday play, I would put my stop loss probably like above like 0.93900 if anything. Let's see what the point of control looks like. If I zoom in a little closer. Yeah, I don't like seeing all the volume on the lower time frames up here. Makes me not want to take this right here, but we'll see what goes down. You know, taking a 1-on-1 off of this would be easy money in my opinion, actually. So we'll see what goes on with that. I'm not gonna really keep it on my watch, quite honestly. I'll just be like, and you know what? Let me put an alert there. Why not? Let's see what that looks like. Create. Okay. Going over to arbitrage real quick. Oops. Weekly time frame. All right, so Yeah, weekly time frame still very much bullish. Daily time frame, same thing, very much bullish. But after that turnaround, I'm having my opinion of price going bearish. 4-hour time frame, we got the bearish move. You know, I mean, over here, kind of already did the breakout and the retest, but I still would want price to come back up somewhat before looking for a sell. I would want price to come up to like 0.93745 for a sell, and that would actually match up very well with this alert that I have. Now that I really think about it, so I like it when RB and technical analysis be lining up like this. Okay, so I would definitely want I'd rather want 0.93600 to be my entry. And if that can sell off, that'd be fire. That'd be fire. But we'll see what goes on. I like that 4-hour time frame. You know, the only thing that's confirmed on this is the sell call. You know, we don't have the momentum line underneath the RSI line. We don't have the level pro below ground zero or the arbitrage Z below ground zero. So we only have one out. Well, actually, we have 2 out of 5 confirmations because I need the breakout and the retest to happen, which has already happened, technically speaking. So, you know, we have 2 out of 5 confirmations, and I need 5 for me to be really confident off of RB. So, and you know, this is setting up for potential buy, but it's not there yet. But I'm not gonna try to play it either. So we'll see what goes down with UChef. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Actually, that is not supposed to be that color. It's supposed to be this color. All right, let's take a look at Goldilocks. All right, and same thing as like with Euro USD. If you guys can see the overlay on the left where it says like, oh, fake out on gold close to its all-time highs. That's what I meant to put last week, and if you listen to what I had mentioned last week as well, then you would know that, yeah, that's basically what I meant to put. But you know, right over here, these all-time highs last week, like I mentioned, seeing that wick, that's scary, you know, and then also seeing that head and shoulders, 4-hour time frame, sorry. Seeing that head and shoulders time frame right here, the head and shoulders right here, push to that downside, it was inevitable, low-key. However, I still need to see this zone get broken before I decide that I want to look for sells on gold. Why is that? Let me go ahead and go on over to the weekly time frame. Yes, I do see that this is a very much good-looking Morningstar pattern. I still need to see the structure broken, though. You know. Yes, on the daily time frame, I see all of this bearish price action here, but I need the structure broken, though. And it's so funny how it lines up almost with the 50 EMA. I don't know how I would necessarily feel about me trying to buy right here, however. From that low to this high. First of all, right here is a solid. It looks very good for a buying opportunity for gold, especially when we talk about, oh, gold is a safe haven. Gold is definitely like high up there when it comes to people putting in their money so that their money is protected in times of uncertainty and stuff like that, right? I can't deny this. I can't deny how this looks because, even from this high to this low, price came down. It scared a few traders off, came back up here and here. For all I know, what it could really be doing on the 1 hour time frame, and especially looking at the volume that this candle brought and the bullishness that this came with as well, it's kind of like, okay, at this point, price can really come down over here to like 1916, 1911 and then take off, you know. For a swing position, I like where gold's at. No cap for a buy. And this I was just talking mess about how I play gold more than I play with AUD USD, and you know what? this does not look good, that terrible for a potential. No, because then I see this huge volume right here where that wick happened. I'd rather, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna try to catch it at the tip. I'm not gonna try to. I'm in shambles because I do want to play the buy because I see the possibility on the lower time frames, but the stop loss would have to be like 1894. You know, that would have to be where my stop loss would be, and I could see price definitely coming up to at least, you know, I could see definitely coming back up to at least 1974, let alone 2009, and with everything going on, you know, hey. I haven't called a gold trade in a minute. I'll let you guys see this. I'll let you guys see the play. I mean, 2008 and 2188. I don't like it. You know, I'll let you guys see the play. This is probably something I'm gonna play, and I'm not gonna call it on the app. I don't really care like that. For those on DeFi domination, you know, it's a 1-3. It looks pretty solid to me. A more riskier stop loss, I would say, would be like over here at 1893, which would then make your stop loss. I mean, your trade a 1 to 5.59. But that buy possibility, it is there indeed. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all do what y'all will with that one, but it's not one that I'm calling on the app or tracking on the app personally. I'll just be tracking it in the group chats. So that's gold. Let me check. And again, this is probably because of arbitrage. Yep, arbitrage is probably gonna tell me, why are you trying to sell, bruh? Or why are you trying to buy? So daily time frame, definitely like how prices like on top of the upper danger zone right here, and price isn't setting up for a sell yet, so everything on the daily is bullish, right? 4-hour time frame on the other hand, not so much. You know, everything is bearish on the 4-hour. There could be a potential buy play right here, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 1-hour time frame is called for a buy. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, never mind. I am tripping. That was a good sell. Called for the sell. Confirmed. Everything was confirmed right here, except for the arbitrage Z, but I would have definitely tried to play that if I saw it on Friday. But anyways, it's all good. So yeah, definitely right here where price is currently at is a solid zone for price to hold at, right? If it holds right there at that lower danger zone, then I definitely want to see that breakout to the upside. However, I do know the possibility still does exist of price coming back down over here to 1911, 1906. And what do you know? There's a wick right here that's right at that 1906 that will kind of be looking a little bit inverted, head and shoulder-ish. Now, you can say it's a reach because it's a wick. Whatever. It is what it is, but it could happen. So let's see what goes down. I definitely like the swing play and the intraday play. Like I gave you guys that riskier stop loss, 1894. The safer stop loss overall would be like 1870, 1876, 1877. So we'll see what goes down. But I definitely like the buy play. So I'm in there. But again, I'm not tracking that. All right, let's take a look. Oh my gosh. This is what the U.S. indices did last week? Yeesh. Man, well again, and this is why I say that at these zones, you want to just be patient. You don't want to just go and play them because, and this is what I don't want to happen with us and with the DXY, where it holds at a zone and then it goes and turn around. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just go back and show you guys real quick. I want to wait for the breakout first rather than trying to sell it at the zone and then price ends up going bullish, because I had a sell bias on the indices if it broke out of this zone, and I wanted to kind of I even wanted to get into a buy right here. Was it this buy that I wanted? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure if it was that one. Let me not lie. I think it was this that I was looking for a potential buy, but then it never played out. It came down. It would have. Ooh, my stop loss would have been slightly under. No, my stop. Let me be real. My stop loss would have been right there, and then price ended up turning around to get there to the take profit anyways of what I would have had. Anyways, enough of that. I like this breakout that price is finally broken off of the zone. Finally got that break of that zone that I've been waiting for. So now at this point, what I'm looking for, I mean, I definitely see the possibility of price, you know, coming up over here, 71% Fibonacci level, even closer to 4487, where it could potentially fall. That is still a huge possibility. However, based off of the bullishness that we've seen, I don't necessarily know if I want to take that risk of trying to take the sell when I could just say, hey, even if it does sell here, why not just wait for price to come back down to the 23.6 Fibonacci level to get into the buy for it to then take off? Because if I turn this fib around and I make it from this low that price is breaking out of to this high, that's exactly what I would want to see. Price come down to the likes of 4236 to continue going bullish. You know what I'm saying? So this is like literally what I would want to see. So I still say, hey, you know, although yes, prices bounced off of the zone, let's go on to the weekly time frame, and you guys are going to see the weekly and be like, no, this shouldn't be this should definitely be like you're looking for buys. And absolutely, look at this bullish candle, bullish engulfing. Yeah, definitely I would look. I'm more looking for buys than sells, even if price does go to 4236.9 and it's underneath the RSI line. You know, holding at that zone, that's a hard recovery. You know, I don't even think that price might just keep going, quite honestly, but we'll see what happens. But that's a huge recovery, S&P. Daily time frame, same thing, like just bullish candles. At this point, it's the retracement or it just keeps going. I'm not going to try to get in at that time or at this time. Just going to wait on it. Okay, let's go on over to the daily time frame on arbitrage. Ooh, it has broken out of this right here. That's very interesting to see for a long-term switch bias on the S&P. So we got the breakout. Level Pro is bullish. Arbitrage Z is not quite yet, so we just need breakout, retest, continuation on RB so that's for the daily time frame. We'll see what the technical analysis looks like once it lines up, if price gets there. But you know, over here 4236, that's what I'm looking at for the daily time frame. So that's something that I gotta be mindful of. 4-hour time frame, very bullish, and 1 hour time frame might be setting up for a sell, but I'm not going to be playing that sell. I'm going to be only looking for that buy play, because this is ultimately the buy play that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and set that alert at 61.8 to get me like mentally prepared for the trade. 4-hour time frame, yeah. So that's on S&P. This is the play right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones did its thing. The Dow Jones did what I wanted it to do, but it was ugly from the fib, but overall it did its thing. From this fib, from the low to this high, definitely not the greatest looking play, but then when you have it from the low of 32,239.2 to the high of 34,179.3, although it did not break the structure, it was a good buy play. So I don't know if I would have honestly played. If I wanted to play this, I would have called it on the app, and I didn't call it on the app, so I obviously didn't play it. But you know, it did its thing. It definitely broke out to the upside, and now at this point, what I want to kind of see, I was looking for a scalp entry on Friday, but I was not looking at how bullish this thing was on the higher time frames. But yeah, overall, what I would say at this point is kind of the same thing of what I was saying with the S&P. You know, for this breakout, I want to see the retracement, and whatever that retracement will be, that's probably what I would get into, because this is where the real takeoff was. Like, damn. So wherever that stops at and it retraces back down to those fibs, I'm going to take that opportunity. So that is for US 30 on technical analysis. I'm pretty sure this looks very similar to what S&P looks like. Bullish, 4-hour time frame bullish, daily time frame broke out to the upside. Yep. Gotta wait for the confirmations, but we have the level pro above ground zero, so that's good to see. And then price broke out, so that's 2 out of 5 confirmations that we have for the Dow Jones on the daily time frame. Weekly still looking scary. Weekly still looking very scary. This looks more confirmed than right here, quite honestly. But although level pro or ground zero came very close to being down there, but that weekly looking a little scary still for arbitrage. So we'll see what goes down though. All right, the Bitcoin. Let's look at the Bitcoin. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm seeing this one of two ways. It's going to break out either one side or the other. That's my opinion. You guys see that it says right there, breakout pending for cryptos. That's how I mean it. Like either A, you know, getting a buy stop over here at 42,675 and then having your stop loss below or like inside, like over here at 41,000, taking price up to 50K. That seems like a play that I'm going to take that play on Bitcoin, or you know, if price breaks out below this zone, which I kind of feel like I don't want it to be below the zone, and I don't like it how that wick is there, but I'm looking, if I'm saying, hey, if price falls below 37,000, in my opinion, we're probably going to be bearish on the crypto. So it's kind of the 2 points that I have on this. You know, let me go. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of those for now. Look over here on the daily time frame real quick before I start to, you know, even go in too deep over there. So right now,
Hey, can you?
Oh, go ahead.
I had to put a question in regards to the Bitcoins in the chat. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh, I definitely did not. But do you mind if I answer that in the? Oh, wait, can you ask it right here, and then I'll be able to answer it? Actually, let me go ahead and do that.
Oh yeah. You know, did you hear anything about some Bitcoin bonds coming up possibly this week? They could take the price up to 46K.
Bitcoin bonds, you said? Let me go ahead and check in the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and check that out. Not really too. No, that actually sounds very interesting. Let me go ahead and. There we go. Where at? Can you like mention me to where you had mentioned that or something? Because
It's on YouTube. I watched Chris Crypto. Yeah, he was talking about it today.
That's interesting. Hey, that might be something that could push Bitcoin up to 46K. Who knows? When it comes to fundamentals with the cryptos, that's where I definitely say I don't care about the fundamentals. Quite honestly, like I say that much more with the cryptos than when I say it with the Forex, and that says a lot. And it's because, you know, there's just a whole bunch of rumors and there's just a whole bunch of news that comes into the crypto space. You know, there's just so much every single day. You know, it's a very good talking point because there's always something new to talk about. But however, I'm more, again, it's just based off of how I am already with Forex pairs. I'm just double that basically with cryptos, and I'm just like, hey, I don't like to say that, oh, this is the reason why this is going to push to the upside. I just like looking at the charts and giving my opinion based off of what the charts are telling me. You know, and that can be both a good and bad thing at the same time, but that's just what I stick to, you know? So, definitely though, 46K, easily a possibility. But I don't want to just, I just want to say it's based off of one singular activity. But either way, and this is more of the reason why I said if price falls below 36K, then I think it's gonna push to the downside. Either side is gonna happen. You know, from this high right here to this low, price has made a retracement. It's at that 61.8. It can still come up to 42K or 43K. There's equal highs on the lower time frame, so that definitely wouldn't surprise me at all. If it did go up to those highs, there's equal highs right here. Oops. I did not mean demand. There we go. And then I want this to be not extending left. And so there's equal highs right here, right? 1, 2, I'm not in drawing mode. 3. So it's so possible for price to just, you know, break out to the upside, come out to 71% Fibonacci or the 78.6, then push to the downside and do something like that. It's so possible, right? So that's something that I'm watching for right now, currently on Bitcoin for the bearish point of view of it all. But as of right now, I mean, even from this low to this high, from when price came and spiked back down, it's pushed up. It came up to the upside and up to those equal highs. Or even if I'm talking about from these lows back over here at 34,000 to the highs of this fib over here on this side. You know, it's like Bitcoin for both the bears and the bulls. There's been a lot of respecting of the fibs that it's been doing. You know, from this low to this high, what did price do? Came to the 71% twice, and it came up back to the 23.6 Fibonacci level where it can turn around twice. You know, or if we're talking about from the 33,000 price to the high of 45K, you know, price came back down 71%, came even to the 78.6. It's came back up, but then it came back down to the fib zone again. So it's like, that's why I'm saying at this point it has to be either A, a breakout is going to happen to the downside, or B, a breakout is going to happen to the upside. You know, I had mentioned for those in DeFi domination on Friday, I was like, hey, right now I do not trust this. I don't trust this buy stop for this upside. I don't trust it. And you guys saw why, because from this low to this high right there, there's still all this that is possibility. And that's why I'm like, you know what, there's not a buy stop here for me, but there is a buy stop possibility for me. Not right there. That's not the one, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? It might have been. You know, at 40, was it? It might have been. Who knows? I'm just playing. It probably was. And you know, me seeing this, I probably made the fib even a different way, because me seeing this now is like, I want to put this buy stop of like at 46K instead of where I have, if it's still where I had it at, and then just put the stop loss up over there. But then when I have I can't, for me personally, I can't have a buy stop this far out in price. It's just, I have to wait for price to get closer to there before I have a buy stop in place, you know? And even up over here, I'm seeing equal highs and stuff like, overall, you know, I would rather prefer to see 56K. I still stand by my, let me get that out of the way, sorry. I still stand by 56K, but at the same time, it's kind of like, let's see where point of control is at. You know, point of control on the 4-hour time frame. Oh, let me zoom in a little closer, sorry. So, 4-hour time frame, when I zoom in a little closer, the most volume is down over here at 39,000, and it's so funny that I have that mapped out one over there. Daily time frame, let's see where the point of control is at. Go on to the daily time frame. There's not a lot of volume up here, guys. There is not a lot of interested volume up here, but money is sitting down here. Money is sitting down here. And I actually want to see something real quick. We're over here in August. We're over here in August. Look where there was a whole bunch of volume sitting. And did the price ever get there? Nope. Wait, is this August? Yeah. And then, so fast forward a little bit. Still see there's a lot of volume there. I mean, down there, right? Keep going with it. Keep going with it. Price getting closer. Still see that there's a whole bunch of volume down there. You know what? I don't have the patience for this, quite honestly. Oh wow, it wouldn't move me forward. All right then, whatever. It's a hater. I'm joking. All right, price starting to push to the upside. As prices starting to move to the upside, you see how the volume is changing places. Came back down. Ooh, this is taking a sweet time. Came very close to grab that volume, and I think this was like, okay, that's when price is like, all right, that's all I needed, and now it's going to take off to the upside. All they needed was an excuse to say that, oh, price needed to drop like that. All there was needed was to be any type of excuse. Now let's see what happens when price goes up higher, how this point of control looks like. As price increases, oops. Price drop down, price pumps back up. Get a little closer with it. Where's the point of control at now? $10,000. All they need is an excuse for price to get down there. Quite honestly, with any type of market, like, that's just how I feel, quite honestly. But when it comes to the shorter time frame, either side is gonna happen. Either A, price is gonna push up over here to the 48Ks to the 50Ks, and I still think that it can hit 56K, or it's gonna push to the downside. But either or, I'm not really necessarily gonna try to trade it. I'm just gonna see what's up over here on this at 42K. If price gets up there 42K, see if it's gonna push to the downside, and if it does look like it's showing some bearish price action there, I might try to trade it. But who knows, man? Let's see what goes down. And let's go on over to arbitrage real quick. And I need to go back onto the video, I forgot. All right. RB daily time frame. It was above the RSI line for a couple of days now, and it's called for a buy. But overall, I would still need a retracement of some sort at this RSI line before I decide to continue looking for buys on Bitcoin. Right? Give me a second. When I come over here onto the 1 hour time frame, it has called for a sell, but I would not have played that sell. That 4 hour time frame though, price is still above that RSI line. It is setting up for a potential sell, but not quite yet. It's not there yet. This RSI line needs to get into the upper danger zone. So it's still pretty bullish for Bitcoin as well on the 4 hour. And daily time frame as well looks bullish, but again, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. At this point, it's either a breakout to the upside or breakout to the downside for me. I don't necessarily want to play in between that. Ethereum is about the same thing. Go ahead and get rid of that point control. You know, this played out to the T. You know, I've been talking about it. Mad I got out early. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So let me go ahead and get rid of those. Forgot about that other trade, to be quite honest. Alright, so grab all of these. Alright, so Ethereum, it's kind of the same thing that I'm seeing on Bitcoin. You know, it's like, hey, there's this zone off of this fib that price can reject off of, and I don't necessarily want to try to buy inside of it, because it's like, okay, well, if you buy and it's inside the zone that's possibly a supply zone that price can push to the downside with, like down to 2,000, when it's like, why I try to buy it there? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I would rather just wait for the breakout of, and it's the same thing, you know, right? It's like, I'd rather just wait for a possible breakout of some sort on Ethereum, either to the upside or to the downside, before trying to buy it in here, you know. And I mean, selling it there is definitely not a bad idea, especially since we've seen on Bitcoin where the point of control is at. So more than likely on Ethereum, it's gonna be the same thing. You know, it's just gonna be the same thing on Ethereum as well. So it's kind of like, yo, at this point, you know, the buy opportunity would be, hey, just the opposite from where the buy really took off to the high right there. Oh, magic. No, I'm just playing. That's just how the strategy is meant to play out, or how the fibs play out, or that's the reason why I have that 23.6 there. But anyways, you know, there's different ways on how to play Bitcoin, but at this point, the safest, so you're not flipping a coin, although the point of control going down here just kind of basically means that, oh, price is probably going to go bearish, and then once it gets to that point of control, for it to go bullish, it would make sense, right? But we're gonna have to see what goes on. Better price action, it might be needed. Going on to that 1 hour though, real quick. Yeah, it would be much better if I had something like this on the lower time frames where price came up to. Yeah, I don't mean to be like that, but 2,939 wouldn't be a bad price, and it's lining up with the point of control too. That's pretty funny. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be looking at for the cryptos this week. We'll see what goes down with those. Creates daily time frame broke out to the upside on Ethereum. That's good to see. I'm still scared of this weekly. Still kind of scared of the weekly time frame, you know. 4 hour time frame, it's setting up for a potential sell, but not quite there yet. And the 1 hour time frame has already called for a sell, but I would not have played it. So that is for Ethereum. Now onto these GBPs, and so GPUSD, we were able to get into a sell on that last week, and it hit 1-to-1 of our take profit before hitting us at break even. And it looks like price is still going to end up going down. And you know, the entry that I had given last week, it's got hit at break even. Price still looks like it's going to push to the downside. And if it does, that would be cool. So, I mean, overall, this is the bias, guys. Like, the bias is still for price to push to the downside. It's just that I'm not going to get back into this because I had already gotten into it once. And my entry, I'm not going to get a worse entry than what I already had. It's either going to be better or no entry at all. Just take a look at where the point of control is at. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all. So that's cool. I'm definitely going to start putting that point of control on more often because I just, like, I don't know why, I just kind of forgot about it. But it's a good it's good added confluence. But yeah, I got this alert that came on, but this second one I'm probably not going to be able to play with it, and it's all good. Just going over to the daily time frame. Price rejected off of this zone pretty nicely, even did a good wick to the upside. Weekly wise though, it's not a bullish engulfing candle, but it's not a candle that I want to buy off of either. So I still remain with my bearish bias, especially since price never broke through this zone. But you know, the possibility of something like this to happen, it does exist, where price comes down, holds right here, and then goes bullish like this. So it pushes down, up, continuation to the downside, breaks out to the upside, retraces, and then continues going to the upside. That would be like when it breaks out of this zone to continue to the upside. That'd probably be what I would want to play, because that would be the safest play, you know. But of course, lower time frame, I mean, this is a bearish engulfing candle. I would not want to try to buy up against that, but you know, price can just literally just come back down over here to like 1.31289 and go bullish, but I'm not going to play that. So we'll see what goes down with GU, but I'm pretty bearish on it. Going on over to arbitrage, 1 hour time frames calling for a buy and prices above RSI line. That's interesting. Let me go and look at the other time frames real quick. 4 hour time frame called for a buy as well. Oh, wow. You know, I did not look at any of this while calling that sell last week, so it's even funny that I would call it when all of that was bullish. But anyways, daily time frame called for that. I mean, it's not called for the buy. It's not going to call for the buy anytime soon. And the weekly, same thing. So this 1 hour, I'm not going to necessarily play it either. And more reason why I'm not playing any of those is because I'm in GJ already in a swing. And I want this bad boy to fall because it's been playing with me. But, you know, and for those who are in DeFi domination, we've already talked about this. I was like, you know, it's not necessarily the best time to get into it. It probably might continue to go up higher. And that's the reason why, you know, this smaller time frame fib, we didn't play it, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, hey, the possibility of this going higher still exists. But, you know, this is the play that we're in. When you look at it to the left,
don't ignore what's happening.
200 pip stop loss. You would have a better entry than I do. But I feel like if price goes above, if price goes above 157.727, then that stop loss is going to get wrecked. But overall, I mean, hey, that's the play setup. It was given last week as well, so this is the same thing. If y'all want, y'all could read it right there. I would be on here a little bit longer. And for those who, if anybody has any other pairs that they want me to look at, now would be a good time to start posting them up in the chat. Alright, so that's for GJ, the sell opportunity. The play is there. I still feel the same way about it. Yes, price has gone a little bit bullish, a little bit more bullish. I don't like this bullish engulfing candle right here, but I'm still going to hold my bias because I'm in the trade and I don't want to exit the trade early. So either I lose or I'm winning. And, you know, technically speaking, this would be catching a top, but price has been consolidating up here for a pretty good amount of time. I feel good about the chances for a sell. You guys know how long I've been patient with this. Even this sell opportunity for price to break through the zone, y'all know I was waiting for it. So let's see what goes on with GJ. And oh, let me go on over to arbitrage real quick. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like, hey, why are you buying? I mean, why are you selling? You should be buying. So 1 hour call for a buy. 4 hours, same thing. A long time ago, but it never gave that retest. Daily time frame, still pretty bullish. Weekly time frame, same thing. So we'll see what goes on with that. And EG, I'm waiting for this to happen before I look for a buy. Nothing less, nothing more. You know, right now it's at a pretty decent spot for a sell. I'm not even gonna lie to anybody. So that's all I have for EG. Quite honestly, I'm not looking for a buy until I get a breakout above 8,500. Quite honestly, not looking for any type of buys until 8,500. Right now right here is a good place to look for sell opportunities. That's all I'm giving y'all with EG. So with that being said, thank y'all for hopping on. I do appreciate it, and let's